Like it. Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where I'm joined by my wonderful guest, Mr. Leigh Fuge.
Thanks for having me again.
About whom I will not make any jokes.
No, you will.
At this point in time.
You will.
I will.
It's only the first day.
It is, yeah. We've still got the humour in us. But yeah, we're at 42 Gear Street 4, and what we're doing today is something a little bit special, because what we're doing today is giving Leigh a bit of a quick introduction to the 2022 lineup of Yamaha Revstar guitars.
Yeah.
This is the second generation of the Revstar, which first came out 5 or 6 years ago.
Believe so, yeah. Around about that time.
It was updated for this year, and you haven't really played any of them. You've seen them in the tents here at the show, but this is your first time getting to know them.
Yes, yeah. I've not spent any time at all with the current ones. I've played some of the original ones, like a few friends own various iterations of the original versions of Revstars. But yeah, this is pretty much a first impressions for me in terms of like playing the ones that we have here with us.
Yeah, exactly. And so for those of you who watch my channel, you will know that I've done a couple of videos on the Revstars already. So this specific element right here that Leigh is holding, it's been featured on my channel. I've done a couple of videos with the standard Revstar as well. I've compared the Element and the Standard. Those are the cheaper two of the models. There's also a Japanese built professional one. And what you're going to do now is play all three of them and tell me what you think.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about the specs and the features, and we'll see if we can work out which one you would take home if the benevolent guys at Yamaha decided to give you one at the end of the show. Because you never know.
So this is the Elements one then?
Yes.
So this, what do you know about this, or what's worth knowing about this before we
I would say, well, first off, I would say that the big mistake that I think quite a few people, including me, have made in the past is not thinking of the Revstar as being its own thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people say, oh, it's just kind of a bit of it's a Les Paul or it's an SG, just with a slightly different sort of philosophy to it. But the Revstar is, to me, its own kind of guitar. It has its own unique character and vibe. So the Element comes in at about €500, pounds or dollars, depending on your currency. I'll put the exact pricing in down there for you guys. And it has pretty decent specifications for the price, I would say. It's a mahogany body on it, which is chambered, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, jumbo frets, Yamaha humbuckers in it, three-way switch for those humbuckers, and a high-pass filter called the dry switch, which you engage by pulling out the tone control there. Yamaha hardware on it, and it is a satin finish neck, which for me is something very important and I find extremely playable.
Yeah, that might not show up too well on the camera, but that is a really nice touch because obviously it feels quite fast to play, which is lovely.
Yeah, for me personally, I would always pick a satin neck over a poly finish neck if I could get one.
Yeah, I agree.
And the neck profile is, I think I've described it as being comfortably chunky on my channel. Yeah,
I see what you mean. It's like, it's there. It doesn't feel like, it's not a baseball bat neck, but there's enough neck there to satisfy that, you know, you've got something solid going.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some thick, sort of girthy crunch tones to start off the video. Let's carry that on a bit, but do maybe some neck pickup sounds, and then we'll engage that dry switch and hear what we get from that.
Okay. The dry switch is interesting because it's sort of, like you said, it's like a high pass filter, so it gives you that extra clarity, but without, you don't lose any of the volume like you would with like a conventional coil split or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It takes off kind of any of that sort of low end sort of flabbiness or looseness that you don't want in the tone, but it doesn't make things really quiet. So it's sort of like a coil tap for me in terms of the tones, but in terms of the volume drop, it's just not there. So I really, really like that switch.
Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds really nice. It would be quite useful for, like, if you were gigging with it, because if you were to need, like, a single coil style sound, even though it's not a true single coil, it gives you, you know, 90% of that sound.
Yeah, it's like an approximation of it without having to get a separate guitar.
Yeah, and also, as you said, it's not noisy at all. Like typical car splits can be quite noisy as well. That maintains the fullness of the humbucker, but just with a bit more kind of sparkle.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly, yeah. Should we go across to the clean channel of the amp just to hear that dry switch? 'Cause
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
It might be a bit less subtle there.
Yeah.
So I'm
Let's
just
get
gonna
some
run here.
cleans.
We're playing the Friedman,
Friedman
Steve Stevens signature
Stevens.
model, by the way, aren't we? And I
Yes.
believe the switch I need is this one.
It is the switch you need.
I'll come back then.
So that's with the dry switch engaged.
Yep.
It's out of tune, but you can hear the tonal difference definitely.
We got the gist, yeah.
Yeah.
It thins it out, but for me it thins it out in a very sort of ear-pleasing sort of a way.
Yeah.
So I really, really like it.
Yeah.
Now, when you move up to the standard model, there's a humbucker or a P90 version available, and you get a number of different specs as well. You don't get the dry switch, though. You have a 5-way pickup selector switch,
Yeah.
and you have what they call a focus switch, which is
Okay.
almost like a passive boost or adding hotter pickups to your guitar. So it works great for jazzy sort of stuff.
Okay.
It might be ideal for the kind of music you play.
I think so, yeah. I like P90s as well. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we've got humbucker ones available as well, but
Let's give the standard with humbuckers a go first, and then we'll go to the P90s and see what we can do. Now, they all look fairly similar. Is that a standard that you've got there? It'll be SS
Nope,
in the
that's
name.
not.
That's a professional.
I've gone straight for the expensive one.
So the finishes are quite similar on the models. There are some different colours available throughout the different tiers, but the one big difference that you can see is that the elements have dot fret markers,
Yeah.
whereas you have these kind of, I don't know what you call them. Are they ovals? No, they're not.
Sort of
Are they
like
rounded rectangles?
sausages.
They're sausages, yeah.
Yeah.
They have sausage fret markers. Is that a standard one?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
RSS.
Yeah, so with the standard, we're moving up, between £200 or £300, euros or dollars in terms of pricing. Comes with a gig bag as well. Has the same jumbo frets and rosewood fingerboard. As I said, you've got the different electronics in it. And
5-way switch.
Yes. So it's got in-between sounds too. And it has upgraded humbuckers. These are
Right.
the VH3s from Yamaha. Those are the VH5s.
Okay.
It's got a chambered mahogany body too, and it's got stainless steel frets, whereas the Element model just has your standard metal frets.
Right, okay.
There's another cool thing in the neck of the Standard, and actually, can you pop that one down? I'm going to grab the little body of this one with nothing on it. This is a professional one that we're looking at, but the Standard and the professional one have carbon reinforcements in the neck
Right, okay.
to make them stiffer, and apparently it aids in tonal transfer. If that's true or not, you're about to find out.
Let's find out.
Yep, let's play the Standard.
So those in-between positions are an interesting addition as well, because you kind of get some, like, Strat-esque sounds from a guitar that's clearly not designed for that sort of look.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sound that you totally wouldn't expect to get out of a guitar like that. And it's not going to replicate a Strat, is it? But it's like, if you're gigging and you want that sound, you can do it on a budget by just using this guitar for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I measure a lot of guitars that I would choose to take out to gigs, is how much can I do with it.
Yeah.
And if I can do like humbucker sounds, single coil sounds, and everything in between with a single guitar, that is always something I would lean towards as like a choice. And that seems to tick a lot of those boxes. Yeah, very nice. They're definitely nice. You get that nice kind of honky sound.
What setting are you on there?
Number 2.
Number 2.
We've also got number 4.
What would that be? Bridge and middle.
Bridge and middle on a typical sort of
Yeah.
single coil. and that would be neck and middle.
Now kick in that focus switch and let's see how that alters the tone.
Okay,
See, that is a
here we
big
go.
boost, isn't it? Yeah.
You're going to crunch?
Some throaty crunch.
Well, I've turned the focus switch off. It adds a lot of low end when you put that switch in on the neck pickup.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really nice.
You like it? You like the focus switch?
I'm into that.
See, I think it sounds great with you playing it. You play a lot of more sort of single note stuff than I do. You're a lot more of a melodic player than me, whereas I play a lot of, sort of bar chords and stuff like that. And for me, the focus switch, it doesn't quite have the same sort of usage that I can get out of the dry switch. Because I appreciate the thinning out of a humbucker, whereas for you, I think that sounds amazing.
What is a nice addition to that for me as a player is having those in-between settings which kind of give you that single coil vibe, and then that you can kind of take it up another notch then. So if you're playing live and you're kind of sitting on, when the solo comes up, it's like that built-in boost kind of thing. Yeah, I do like that. I am a fan.
Good. I'm glad to have indoctrinated you a little bit.
Yeah, again, satin neck on that thing as well. Very nice.
Beautiful, isn't it? How do you feel about the body shape of the Revstars?
I quite like it, to be honest. I'm really getting into like slightly offset designs at the moment. So I've always been fascinated by this look. Anyway, I've liked the look of the Revstars since they first came out. So yeah, I do like it. It's a bit different. And like you said, it doesn't look like anything else. There's nothing else on the market that, even though people compare it to like a Les Paul or an SG style guitar, because of, I guess, it's a solid body electric with two humbuckers. But it doesn't look like either of those guitars really.
No, exactly.
Got its own visual.
And it performs differently. I love the looks of them, by the way. I've said it often on my channel that if Yamaha had sent me the Swift Blue version of the Element, they would never have had it back. So I love the looks of that guitar. And I think that's so important as well.
Yeah.
Especially in the Element sort of price point where it might be people buying like a first or second instrument.
Yeah.
If you get something that you love the look of, it's just going to inspire you every day to play.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And also, just from a first impression standpoint, if people do kind of think that a guitar like this, solid body with twin humbuckers is instantly going to sound like a Les Paul or an SG, even just like the literal 2 minutes I just spent with it then, it doesn't feel like either of those guitars.
Yeah.
Like I would never play this and think, oh yeah, that feels a bit like a Les Paul. Like it feels like something completely different.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that's the whole point.
It's good for Yamaha, exactly, yeah. Now, this is one guitar that I've not yet played at all.
Right.
This is the standard version with a P90 pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
it has
a
this
lovely colour.
Pretty cool tailpiece. I don't know what the colour of this is called. Is it perhaps called burgundy or something like that? If only we had a representative from the company here behind the curtain to tell us what colour this guitar actually was.
Give me a second.
It's almost like
Should we plug it in?
We didn't plan this. Yeah, while they're looking for the finish, you plug that in.
Hot Merlot.
Hot Merlot.
Nice.
There you go.
And it's in tune.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
So what we've got here is effectively the same guitar in terms of specifications and features, but we've got a pair of Yamaha Soap Bar P90s in it. You've still got the 5-way selector switch, and you've still got a focus switch. And I'm really interested to hear how this is going to compare to the humbuckers.
Yeah. the focus switch kind of takes it into like humbucker territory then.
Yeah, it's doing the opposite of the dry switch.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it doesn't have the same boost as it does with the humbuckers, but it kind of puts this guitar in that ballpark then.
Yeah.
So having this one is kind of like having that one with the switch, because you can get those humbucker
Yeah, it's like,
tones. by
when
doing
you
that.
activate the focus switch with the P90s,
It sort of becomes
it's
that
almost
guitar.
like the standard
Yeah.
humbucker.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Whereas I thought that the P90s on their own, they have their own flavour, but they're not too far away from the dry switch on
Yeah.
the Element. So
Yeah.
you can kind of, they're sort of related in that sort of way.
of course. I like P90s anyway. I think it's a really interesting pickup sound.
Such an underrated pickup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're a bit noisy, but that's P90s too. Like, all P90s are noisy.
That's
They're
part
meant
of
to
the
be.
fun. Yeah.
And again, those in-between ones on P90s, that sounds great too. Going clean. I like the in-between settings on clean as well.
Yeah.
So it gets quite fat then, that's where you
does.
kind of get into humbucker territory.
That's a really classic sort of vintage
Yeah.
P90 sound with
Yeah.
that focus switch engaged.
Yeah, that's nice.
Really nice. Which would you say, on first play, if you were to choose one of the standards, would you edge more towards the P90s then, or the humbuckers?
I would definitely edge more towards the P90, purely because I do prefer like more like kind of single coily or vintagey sounds.
Yeah.
With the option to boost them further. So as like a guitar, that would be spot on for what I would need for a gig. Like
Yeah.
all the tones I would need are there, and then I can kick it up when I need it. So yeah, this would probably be my choice out of the two.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Not that that's a bad one, because that's also great, but just my
Yeah,
personal
well,
thing leans me more towards
I guess that's why they make them both.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah,
choose.
absolutely.
Let's continue this whistle stop tour then with the Japanese-built Professional model, which I
okay.
believe to be that one there.
Okay. Let me just hand
You can
that
hand
for a
me that
sec.
one. Now this bumps you up in budget a good $1,000 or euros. I think it's about 1,900 local currency. Again, I'll put proper pricing down there for you guys.
That instantly feels like a premium guitar.
It feels like
yeah.
a different guitar. Comes with a hard case as well. You still have the 5-way switch and the focus switch, and it's the VH5 humbuckers in that one. But you have a bit more in terms of the body. They've done some
Look at the
anti-aging
gold
treatments.
stripes. They didn't even come up properly on camera, but these stripes here are actually gold glitter, and the binding is gold glitter as well.
I've never seen that before. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
That's such a nice touch.
And it's like a
like an anodized gold.
anodized gold scratch plate.
Wow.
Very, very cool. So that looks sophisticated in its build as well. Very, very nice indeed. But yeah, with the bodies on the Professional ones, what was I saying? They pre-age them for you.
Okay.
I originally said anti-aging, but no, that's the face cream.
They
that
make
we
them
all use.
younger.
Yeah, no, they sort of pre-age them with kind of a, what some guitar companies do? They sort of shake the guitars around in a confined
Yeah.
space or whatever to kind of simulate months or years of playing. They do that as well, and there's also carbon reinforcement in the bodies of these ones too. Otherwise, very similar specs to the standard model. And again, humbuckers and P90s available. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's very nice. Lots of clarity in those humbuckers.
Do you feel a difference between the Pro and the Standard?
It definitely feels like a more premium guitar. But yeah, I mean, the pickup, it's something in the pickups, I think. There's a little bit more sparkle to these ones.
Yeah.
Only slightly, but there's something I'm hearing in like the top end, I think.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
But yeah, no, very nice.
Right, I'm going to disappear round the back one more time. We'll
Okay.
turn the crunch on the amp. We'll play that very quickly. Then we'll do the P90s in the Pro model. And then we'll wrap it up by you telling us which is the best.
Let's do it. I'm going to go back to humbucker mode then, ready?
I've never had to move so much at Henning's events before.
Obviously, we can't go through all the tones on that, but yeah, that sounds lovely with a bit of drive.
That is lush.
It's a really fat, warm sound on those humbuckers.
Really, really
Yeah.
good. P90s, we'll give you the gold top. That's another beautiful finish, by the way. I love,
yeah.
I love
I
the
love a gold
tailpiece
top.
on that. Really, really classy.
I love a gold top. I've literally been eyeing this thing up all day. So this is my kind of guitar. I like that. That's a dangerous amount of enjoyment.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the model that we've seen where I feel most like it looks like a Les Paul because it's got that 50s gold top vibe to it quite heavily.
With the cream P90s.
Cream P90s gold top, yeah. Maybe even the tailpiece, but yeah. Sounded fantastic. Those are some of the thickest P90s that I've heard in a long time, especially with that focus switch.
Yeah. This is the one I'm kind of gutted now that we don't have a full 20-minute video just to talk about this on, because that's fantastic.
It could be worth justifying another video for.
Could be.
We got more days worth of time,
Could
so we
be.
might have to
Could
do
be.
that. But as we wrap this one up then, this has been your first time playing all of the models within the range. Got the Element model, the Standard humbucker and P90,
Yeah.
and the Pro humbucker and P90. If you were out gigging tonight in your covers band and they said you could take one of these to play as many different styles of music as authentically as possible, which one would you choose and why?
Good question. This is probably going to be a controversial answer, because the easy one would be to say this one.
Yeah.
But I would say that one. I would say the Standard.
The Standard with P90s.
Because of the mileage I do as a musician,
Yeah.
this I wouldn't want to smash up. This I'd want to keep for, enjoyment. That I think would be a great guitar to take out on the road, and it's so well priced that it would be a really good working guitar.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't worry, obviously it's still not a cheap guitar, but at a guitar in that price range, if it kind of gets beaten up on the road, you don't mind as much as something like this.
Yeah.
This overall is probably my favourite of the bunch, but that would be the one that I'd probably think, that's what I'm going to take out with me.
I
really like that one.
Yeah, I also feel like in terms of the prices, kind of the jumps in prices, that the Standard is probably the one that's going to sell the most.
Yeah.
Just a feeling that I have based on that. And I feel like a lot of people will say the Pro is kind of an awesome thing, a thing to aspire to, but I'd also be a bit worried about sort of taking it out and dinging it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my choice as like for my needs as a guitar, as much as this is incredible.
Yeah. So there you go. That was Leigh Fuge's first impressions of the Yamaha Revstars.
I can't believe it's taken me this long to try them.
It's been a few months.
I know.
I think you need to get in touch with the Yamaha guys and do some more videos on these because there's plenty of mileage in them.
Yeah.
Leigh's style is so different from mine. I thought it would be super cool for you guys to hear how it sounds with him playing this kind of guitar. So
Thanks for having me on as always.
yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Everybody, check out the 42 Gear Street 4 hashtag, which is 42GS4. Plenty more videos.
4 spelled as a word.
4 is a word. F-O-U-R. I'll put that down in the description too. Plenty more videos coming with the Revstars and with many other bits of gear that are at 42 Gear Street 4. Thanks to Bo and the rest of the switching team here. Thanks to Henning Pauly for putting on such an amazing event and all of the production staff involved. Thanks to Yamaha for letting us play the guitars today again. And thanks to you for watching. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.